The resurrection stands as the heartbeat of our faith journey, touching each of us in ways we might not fully grasp. When we look closely at Franciscan spirituality, we find it doesn't just acknowledge this Easter miracle, but it builds everything around it. This path gently redirects our steps from lives centered on ourselves towards something wonderfully new. Our podcast today explores how we can live as resurrection people. So let us begin.
Hello, and welcome to Our Walk Together. This is the place where we have a chance to listen and to learn from others on our walk. My name is Paul Long, and I will be your host, but also a fellow traveler. I'm glad that you're able to join me today on Our Walk Together. Have you ever wondered why Easter matters beyond the Sunday celebration? Without the resurrection, Jesus remains just another wise teacher. But this Easter reality opens something deeper in our world and in our hearts. It changes how we see each other, how we move through difficult days, and how we understand God's presence among us. Our walk together through this Franciscan path isn't about adding more religious duties to our already full lives. Instead, it invites us into a way of being that breathes Easter hope into ordinary moments. The beauty lies in its simplicity, finding resurrection joy in daily bread, friendly conversations, and even in our struggles. In our time together today, we'll explore how this ancient wisdom speaks to our modern hearts. What does it mean to live as Easter people when the world seems so fragile? How might Franciscan insights help us to walk more gently with each other and with creation? Have you ever experienced a moment that changed everything? For Francis, it came when Christ spoke from the San Damiano cross. "Francis, go repair my house," which, as you see, is falling completely to ruin. I always love how much a concrete thinker Francis was at that moment, because at first, Francis gathered actual stones, doing exactly what he was told to do, thinking God wanted him to fix a building. But what began as a misunderstanding and misinterpretation opened to something much deeper: the repair of hearts, not just walls. And this change didn't happen overnight. Francis spent long months of isolation and prayer before fully understanding his path. Our spiritual walks often follow this same pattern: gradual steps rather than sudden leaps. The heart of Franciscan spirituality beats with this slow movement from self-focus towards surrender to love. And it's not just changing our minds, but reorienting our entire being. The ancient Greeks gave us the word metanoia, which means turning around on the road. Doesn't that image speak to our own experience? We walk one direction until something stops us, turns us around, and points us toward God at the center. The order of penance that Francis loved emphasizes this change of direction rather than outward shows of sacrifice. What makes the Franciscan path so rich is how it touches everything. Our turning involves 4 connected pieces: personal, interpersonal, ecclesial, and structural. Our walk with God doesn't stay private. It flows outward into our relationships, our church communities, and even the structures of our society. Francis's journey reached its most profound moment when he received the stigmata, the wounds of Christ appearing on his own body. In that sacred experience, Francis became what and to whom he was praying. His identification with Jesus became complete, showing us that suffering love opens the door to resurrection life. Through Francis's example, we're invited to walk a path that sees everything differently. Our daily bread becomes conversion, our horizon becomes resurrection, and ordinary moments transform into sacred encounters. And isn't this the essence of Easter living? The heart of Franciscan living beats strongest in our families and our communities. The daily rhythms of prayer, conversion, conversation, faith, sharing, chores, meals, recreation, and care for each other create spaces where Easter hope becomes something that we can touch and feel. This life together teaches us to see Jesus in everyone we meet, especially those whom our world often overlooks. Those who wear what Mother Teresa called the distressing disguise of the poor. When we talk about prayer in the Franciscan tradition, we're not trying to create something new. Instead, we're discussing what we already have, the incomparable treasure hidden in the field of the world and of the human heart. This way of praying gently invites us to disclose the image of God in which we are created. Doesn't that mirror Easter's promise? New life emerging from places that seemed empty. Francis saw God's fingerprints everywhere in creation. While some traditions suggest leaving the world to find God, Francis taught us that God is to be found in the world. He recognized creation as permeated with the goodness of God, turning all of nature into his place of prayer. His beautiful canticle, the Canticle of the Creatures, speaks of sun, moon, and elements as brothers and sisters in God's family. Perhaps most striking is how Francis embraced simplicity as a pathway to joy. Living without judgment, criticism, anger, jealousy, prejudice, or fear, this creates room for Easter hope to grow in our hearts. This isn't about having less. It's about being more free. Francis called it poverty of the heart, this traveling lightly through our days, unburdened by the extra weight that we all carry. Our modern walk together comes with burdens Francis never knew. Anxiety touches so many of us, especially since COVID-19 left us feeling isolated and uncertain. In my own journey with generalized anxiety disorder and minor depression, I've felt how worry seeps into everything, disrupting work, straining family connections, and stealing peaceful sleep. Where does Easter hope find us in these struggles? Franciscan wisdom offers gentle pathways forward, especially when we're hurting. Have you noticed how anxiety often whispers that we're all alone? Perhaps that's why someone once said, if you don't believe in God, there's a good reason to be anxious. Because anxiety is a symptom of disbelief. What about our struggling planet? Franciscans practice seeing differently through the 4 simple steps: attending, noticing where we actually are; inhabiting, loving specific places; valuing, recognizing worth in all creation; and gazing, putting new vision into practice. When we see with Francis's eyes, the destruction of our planet feels like destruction of God's self. And every extinct species is like the loss of God's footprints. The divisions in our communities call us to peace building. Francis understood that peace is a gift from God, yet also a work of justice. Today's Franciscans carry this forward as they advocate for social justice, human rights, and the dignity of individuals, especially in standing against human trafficking, supporting refugees, and confronting systemic injustices. Through all of these challenges, Francis offers us his most practical advice. The greatest mistake we humans often make is to become upset and lose our peace. Isn't it striking how simply he frames it? By staying rooted in Easter's promise, we become instruments of peace in a world desperately needing healing. Maybe that's the greatest Easter hope, that ordinary people like us can carry resurrection into our hurting world. Our walk together through Francis's world shows us a beautiful way of living as Easter people. Isn't it remarkable how this ancient wisdom still speaks to our modern hearts? Through personal turning, shared community life, and loving care of creation, we glimpse resurrection hope in unexpected places. The path from whom we are to who we might be rarely happens in a single moment. Francis didn't wake up one morning fully transformed. His journey from merchant to mystic unfolded one small choice at a time. Our own paths likely follow similar winding routes. When anxiety weighs us down, when environmental worries cloud our vision, when divisions separate us from each other, Franciscan practices offer simple ways to reclaim our peace while working for good. Easter hope isn't only found in church sanctuaries or spiritual retreats. It lives in our kitchens, our neighborhoods, and our workplaces. Every mindful breath, every kind word, every moment spent noticing beauty in creation becomes a small resurrection. Francis teaches us to see with new eyes, finding God's presence in the face of a stranger, the song of a bird, and even in our most difficult challenges. Perhaps this is what it means to walk together as Easter people. Not perfect followers, but fellow travelers, helping each other notice signs of resurrection along the way. What small Easter moment might be waiting for you just beyond today?
We are absolutely delighted to have you with us on this wonderful journey. We truly appreciate the incredible support from our growing audience and how our listeners enthusiastically share this with others. For all the latest updates about the podcast, make sure to visit the website at ourwalktogether.com. To be the first to receive news about our next episode, simply send us your email address, and we will gladly add you to our newsletter mailing list. Rest assured, we never sell or share your email addresses. If you have questions or concerns, please email us through the website. All emails are answered. Thank you once again for taking the time to be here today.
Well, the music means that our time together is at an end. I would like to thank you for walking with me today. It's been a great blessing. All of the information about the podcast is available on the website ourwalktogether.com. Please invite your friends to also listen. You are the best advertisement. And so, until we meet again, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord let his face shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord look upon you kindly and give you peace.